Hello, and this is my week 4 update of the Artist's Way book that I'm doing. I've been posting updates about this every week since I've started. But yeah, so if you haven't watched the other ones, you can too. But these are mainly just, so I'm just setting my camera up. It's currently like actually just resting on my knees, so I don't really know if it's gonna fit here, but that's okay. So currently doing the Artist's Way. It's week 4 this week, and week 4 was all about recovering a sense of integrity. So what we talked about, it said this week may find you grappling with changing self-definition. The essays, tasks, and exercises are designed to catapult you into productive introspection and integration of new self-awareness. This may both be very difficult and extremely exciting for you. Warning, do not skip the tool of reading deprivation, is what it says. Also, I'm like in my little homebody pajamas right now, and I have like nothing on my face. Actually, I don't ever film anything really with much makeup on, but anyways, I don't look perfect, but I don't need to look perfect because, yeah, anyways, the point of why I'm filming these isn't for anyone anyways, it's more for myself to look back on. But yeah, it talked about honest changes and how okay is a blanket word for most of us. I've highlighted a few things in the pages, not a lot actually, but yeah. They say how if you want to work on your art, work on your life. In order to have a self-expression, you must first have a self to express, which is so true. And the process of identifying a self inevitably involves a loss as well as a gain. So, yeah. It talks about like kairos, which is like, okay, where does it say? Okay, it says we all know what a kaira looks like. It's the bad case of the flu right after you've broken up with your lover. It's the rotten head and cold bronchi. Oh my god, I can't speak English. Bronchial. It's the rotten head, cold, and bronchial cough that announces you've abused your health to an unreachable work deadline. The asthma attack out of nowhere when you've just done a round of caretaking your alcoholic sibling. That's crier too. So I definitely had a lot of those, not this week actually, but recently in my life, of just like, mainly it was like I don't think I was taking care of myself properly, and I got really sick, and I like had like 3 different types of sicknesses all lined up one after the other, and it was like the same lesson every time until I got it. So I was like, oh, that's what that is. And then it said, as we gain or regain our creative identity, we lose the false self we were sustaining, which is crazy because it's true. And I was talking about a closet stuffed with ratty old clothes does not invite new ones. And speaking of that, I actually did a lot of cleaning out because it talked about that as well, about like cleaning out to make space for the new. And we did a buried dreams and exercise. We had to like list 5 hobbies that sound fun, list 5 classes that sound fun, there's like list 5 things that you would never do that sound fun, etc., and you had to do it like quickly, so like you don't think about it, like what just came up on your mind, which was interesting. I wonder if I can even find, I don't even know where it would be in my pages. My notebook, I'm gonna need to get a new notebook soon for all of my like morning pages and stuff, because yeah, so like random stuff came up, like I even said like soccer for one of them, because, and like kicking a football, which is like, I don't know, I didn't think that I could, or that I was ever good at it, which is interesting that came up for me, to play with a ball, like sport. I don't really play sports. Anyways, and then reading deprivation. So it was saying like we gobble the words of others rather than digest our own thoughts and feelings, rather than cook up something of our own. The mind is kept naggingly busy on some easy, unimportant, external thing all day. And the reading deprivation, before I even talk about what tasks we did, the reading deprivation, crazy. I realized, like, okay, so what happened with me was I broke it multiple times. I lasted, I think, like 3 days, and then on the Wednesday, because like I tried to do no music as well if I was by myself. Obviously, if I'm driving in the car with someone though, like I'm not gonna let it be silent, like I was playing music then. But if it's like just me in the car, like I was like silent, like I didn't watch any TV shows, didn't listen to music when I was by myself, didn't go on social media, Instagram, didn't read a book, didn't read anything, etc. You get the picture. So it's like in your free time, when like usually would be my scrolling time, like when I get home from things, it's like I couldn't do that. So I was like, what do I do? But what I found was, because I didn't have anything to go to like focus on something else, I actually like sit with like my emotions and thoughts and feelings, and I realized that I actually turn to all those external things to numb out how I'm actually feeling. And something like happened on the Wednesday. I don't know if it necessarily like happened, or that it was just like I was feeling everything a lot more maybe, but I was upset about something, and then I broke it because I didn't want to feel sad. So I went on my phone and scrolled on Instagram, and then after that I was like, after like an hour of scrolling, I was like, oh my god, like what have I done? And I didn't sit through it and work through like my emotions. And I realized I don't actually ever really do that because I don't want to feel sad, which is crazy. Anyways, and then once I broke it, it was so much harder to keep going. It was so much harder because then like my mind was like, well, it's right there, like it's just one click away. It was so hard. And I think I like broke it briefly for like a few seconds, I think every day after that, which is so sad. But it wasn't for like hour-long scrolls. Like it would be like I'd slip up, like I'd go to, like I would say, okay, so like in my full-time dance course, like sometimes we talk about on the group chat for what teachers we might have and like stuff about the next day. So I'd be like, oh, I gotta go check what classes I have. And then I found myself watching people's private stories, and I was like, I don't know how I got there, but it just happened. So yeah, anyways, crazy. But I feel like this week I actually like know myself a lot more than I've ever felt in like a long time. Like I feel like I like know, like not like who this like face is, but like me. Yeah, random. So reading deprivation, if anyone else is doing the Artist Way, do not skip it, like at least attempt it, because it was a really interesting experience to do. Then in our task we had to describe our dream environment and then look at ways we could like implement that in our daily lives. Then we had to time travel and write a letter. Well, first we had to describe ourselves at 80, how we are 80, and then write a letter as our 80-year-old self to myself now. Then we had to remember ourselves at 8 years old and write a letter as our 8-year-old self to now, and like write what they would say and like what they'd think of you. And then we had to revisit our life pie from week 2. Mine like has improved a little bit, but still not much. It improved in some areas, but not all, so it still looks like a bit of a tarantula. Then we had to do an artist prayer. So in the book they have like an artist prayer, like the back of it, because they do talk about like, the author talks a lot about like God and stuff, but like she doesn't say you have to believe in it, but it's just like her personal like values. So it is like embedded within the book. So she has like an artist prayer, but then you can write your own. We had to write our own version of it, which was kind of nice, and I'd like to revisit that eventually. Then we had to plan an extended artist date, like an artist date for a whole day, and plan it, and then it said get ready to execute it. Yeah, and then we had to look at a situation we feel stuck and analyze the payoff. And yeah, I did all my morning pages this week. And yeah, that's basically all my update for week 4. Oh, in the reading deprivation, I forgot to say, but I got so many things done. Like I cleaned out my car, I cleaned out my vanity, and I got rid of like old makeup and stuff that didn't like, that I couldn't see my higher self wearing, losing like the person I want to be. Like I like looked at each thing and I was like, would I be using this in my life? And if it was a no, then I passed it on. And then same with my bookshelf. I've redone my bookshelf. I would show you, but it's actually still kind of like not messy. I mean, it's still actually messy because I have some books the other way because they've been like in random spots. Like, you know, when like a book, like if it hasn't had anything on top, like it can like fray like that, whereas like usually it would just sit on the shelf like that. Anyway, so because some of them are like that, they don't all sit and they keep falling. So yeah, and I got heaps of other, those like the main big like things I did, but then there were other like little to-dos as well. I got fresh sheets this week. But yeah, I got a lot of things done. But yeah, so that's my update. Sorry it was really long. Why am I apologizing? It's only for me anyway. So that's my weekly update. And I'm excited for week 5, which is, I meant to tell you, week 5 is recovering a sense of possibility. So, we are being asked to examine my payoffs in remaining stock is what next week is. So I'll update you next week. 11:11 on the timer.